When I opened my mailbox that Friday afternoon, I didn't expect to find anything but the usual bills. But to my surprise, there was a letter addressed to me without a sender. Intrigued, I opened the envelope and began to read the sweet and sincere words written there. It was a love letter, full of emotion and affection that touched my heart in a way I hadn't felt in a long time. Those words made me dream again, made me believe that true love still existed. Weekly, more anonymous letters arrived in my mailbox, each more beautiful than the other. I found myself smiling alone as I read the passionate statements of the unknown author, wondering who could be the person behind those very sincere words. Gradually, I fell in love not only with the letters, but also with the idea of such pure and intense love. I decided that I needed to find out the identity of the sender. I needed to know who was the person capable of writing with such passion and sensitivity. I decided to start investigating the clues left in the letters, trying to find some clue as to who the author might be, and that's how I arrived at the door of my shy neighbor Oliver with a racing heart and trembling hands. "Oliver, are you the author of these letters?" I asked, surprising him with my discovery. He looked down, embarrassed, and confirmed it. "Yes, Callie, I am the author of the letters you received. I wanted to tell you how much you mean to me, but I was afraid of your reaction. I was confused and hurt that Oliver had hidden the truth, but at the same time, I understood his motives. I didn't know if I was ready to open my heart again, if I was ready to give myself to this new feeling that arose in me. And so, with a mixture of emotions and uncertainty, I took a step back, unable to face Oliver in the eyes. Was I ready to give love a chance again? Upon discovering that Oliver was the author of the love letters that made her dream, my heart was torn between surprise and disappointment. I couldn't believe that that shy boy who lived next door was responsible for all those sweet and sincere words that had moved me so much. Oliver looked nervous, his blue eyes avoiding mine as he tried to explain himself. He said that he was afraid of my reaction, that he did not know how I would receive him if I knew the truth. I felt a lump form in my throat, tears threatening to escape my eyes. "Why didn't you tell me from the beginning, Oliver?" My voice came out weaker than I would like. He sighed, his slumped shoulders denoting a mixture of regret and sadness. "I didn't want to scare you, Callie. I just wanted to make you happy, even if it was from afar." His voice was almost a whisper. I didn't know what to feel at that moment. So many contradictory emotions invaded my chest that nothing seemed to fit there anymore. I walked away from Oliver without saying a word, leaving him alone at the door of his house. That night, in my room, I reread all of Oliver's letters. The words took on a new meaning, a new perspective. I wondered if it was possible to forgive him, if it was possible to give a chance to this story that seemed to have begun so magically. The days passed and I tried to avoid Oliver as much as possible. But every time I looked out the window and saw him watering his plants in the garden, my heart tightened. I missed the letters, the words that made me dream and smile again. Until one afternoon, a new letter arrived in my mailbox. It was Oliver's. He apologized again, sincerely and humbly. He asked me for a chance, an opportunity to explain myself better, to try to reconstruct what we had built through the letters. It was there, in that moment, that I realized I couldn't ignore my feelings for Oliver. I knew I needed to give a chance to this story, to this love that seemed to be born from words written on paper. I then decided to accept Oliver's invitation for a date. I was nervous, but I knew it was the right thing to do. I needed to hear what he had to say. I needed to understand his reasons. I needed to give a chance to the love that seemed to be knocking at my door. And so that night, I prepared to meet Oliver. My heart was pounding, my hands were sweating, but I knew I was ready to open my heart again. And when we finally met, I looked into Oliver's blue eyes and knew that there, in that moment, was my true home. I had been trying to avoid Oliver at all costs ever since I found out he was the author of the love letters. The confusion and hurt I felt upon realizing that he had hidden his identity made me turn away from him. But no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't get him out of my thoughts. His sweet and sincere words still echoed in my mind, making me smile involuntarily. On a sunny afternoon, I received a letter from Oliver. The pink envelope and delicate handwriting gave away his authorship. I took a deep breath before opening the letter, hoping to come across more excuses or explanations. But to my surprise, the words I read were simply sincere and touching. "Dear Callie, I know you are hurt and confused by everything that has happened. I apologize for not being honest from the beginning, but know that my intentions have always been genuine. I was afraid that I would ruin everything and miss the chance to win you over for real. I hope we can talk and clarify everything. I am willing to do whatever it takes to regain your trust." Those words moved me in a way I couldn't explain. I knew I needed to give Oliver a chance after all. His love letters made me happy and I missed them. I then decided to make an appointment with him, to finally put an end to all this confusion. We met in a cozy cafe, and as soon as I saw Oliver's sincere look, I realized that he was really sorry. We talked for hours, putting everything on clean plates. He told me about his fears and insecurities, and I shared my innermost feelings and thoughts. Little by little, I realized that Oliver was not only the author of the love letters, but also someone special, someone I wanted to have around. A unique connection was forming between us, and I knew I could no longer resist what was surging in my heart. At the end of that date, Oliver looked me in the eye and said, "Callie, I know I was wrong to hide my identity, but I want to show you that my intentions are true. I like you, really, and I would like to have the chance to win her heart honestly and genuinely." That moment was enough for me to realize that I could no longer fight my feelings. I smiled, feeling my heart open for Oliver, finally giving the love that was surging between us a chance. It was as if the love letters had brought us together in a unique and special way, preparing us for what was to come. And I knew deep down in my heart that this was just the beginning of a beautiful love story between Callie and Oliver. I never imagined I could fall in love with someone like I fell in love with Oliver. After spending so much time together, sharing our deepest fears and secrets, I realized that I could no longer deny my feelings. Oliver became my safe haven, my confidant, my best friend, and now I was starting to see him as something more. On a sunny Sunday afternoon, as we walked through the park, Oliver gently held my hand and looked into my eyes. His gaze was charged with emotion and sincerity, and I knew something important was about to happen. "Callie, I need to tell you something," he began, his voice a little shaky. "From the moment I saw you for the first time, I knew you were special. And as we got to know each other, I realized that I was falling in love with you more than I ever thought possible." My heart began to race as I listened to his words, feeling a mixture of happiness and fear. I knew I had also fallen in love with Oliver, but the fear of the unknown still hung over me. "Oliver, I feel the same way too," I confessed, feeling the tears of happiness rise in my eyes. "You are someone very special to me, and I can no longer hide how I feel." Oliver smiled, his eyes shining with joy. He hugged me tenderly, and in that moment, I knew we had found something true and special in each other. As the days passed, our relationship continued to strengthen. We shared moments of laughter, deep conversations, and complicity. I would catch myself thinking about a future alongside Oliver, and the thought of having found someone to share my life with filled me with happiness. And then, on a starry night, Oliver surprised me with a romantic candlelight dinner at his house. While we were enjoying a delicious dish prepared by him, Oliver knelt before me, taking out a small box from his pocket. "Callie, you are the person I have always dreamed of finding, the woman I want to have by my side for the rest of my life. Will you accept to marry me?" Tears streamed down my face as I shook my head in an affirmative gesture. I could barely speak, such was the emotion that gripped me. Oliver put the ring on my finger, and in that moment, I knew I was on the right track, next to the man who completed me in every way. We hugged each other tightly, feeling sure that the love we shared was true and lasting. And together, we looked to the future, ready to face any challenge that came our way, bound together by the bond of love that had held us together. It was the beginning of a new journey, filled with love, companionship, and happiness. And I couldn't be more grateful to have found my true love in Oliver. Since we decided to give ourselves to love and start a relationship, my life has completely changed. Oliver became not only the author of the letters that touched my heart, but also his owner. Together, we faced the challenges that came our way, strengthening our relationship with each passing day. Oliver has always been my safe haven, the one who made me feel complete and fulfilled. With him by my side, I knew I could overcome any obstacle that appeared on our journey, and so we went on together, building a true and unique love story. On a special day, Oliver surprised me with an unexpected request. Sitting in our favorite place in the park, he looked into my eyes and held my hand tenderly. "Callie, from the moment I wrote you that first letter, I knew you were the person I wanted by my side for the rest of my life. Will you accept to marry me?" he said, his voice choked with emotion. Tears streamed down my face as I looked at Oliver, not believing how lucky I was to have him by my side. "Yes, Oliver, I do," I replied, my voice filled with happiness. He hugged me tightly, sealing our commitment with a kiss full of love and promises for the future. From that moment on, I knew my life was complete. I had found true love in Oliver, the one who made me feel alive and fulfilled. Together, we would face the world hand in hand, building a love story that would be eternalized in our hearts. And so, we close our story with a happy ending and an exciting twist. True love overcame all barriers, bringing us together in a way I could never have imagined. I was ready to live next to Oliver forever, eternalizing our love in every letter, in every gesture of affection, and in every moment we spent together. And so we moved on together, towards our happy ending. Preparations for the wedding began, and with each step taken, my certainty that Oliver was the man of my life was consolidated. We spent hours picking out every detail of the big day, from the flowers to the music that would play when I walked down the aisle. We shared laughter, expectations, and even the small frustrations that came with the process. One day, while we were organizing the guest list, Oliver looked at me with a naughty smile. "Callie, I have a surprise for you," he said, pulling a small envelope out of his pocket. "Do you remember that first letter you received?" I nodded, curious. "Of course I remember. It was the beginning of everything. Well, I decided it was time for you to know how it all started." He handed me the envelope, and upon opening it, I found a copy of the first letter, along with a note explaining what inspired him to write it. "Dear Callie, I have always admired your strength and resilience. Seeing you smiling every day, even when the world seemed to collapse, inspired me to write that letter. I wanted you to know how special you are and how much your presence brightens the lives of those lucky enough to know you. It was your courage and kindness that motivated me to write, and I just hope I can make you happy for the rest of your life." Tears filled my eyes as I read his words. "Oliver, this is so beautiful. I didn't know you felt all this from the beginning." "I always have, Callie, and now we are about to begin a new phase of our lives, and I want you to know that my love for you only grows every day." We hugged each other, feeling the deep connection we shared, a connection that had started with simple words on a piece of paper and had grown into something much bigger. The big wedding day has come. The sun shone brightly, reflecting the joy and hope we felt. Our friends and family gathered to celebrate our love, and as I prepared to walk down the aisle, I felt a mixture of nervousness and excitement. My best friend Sarah helped with the finishing touches on my dress. "You look great, Callie. I've never seen you so happy." "Thank you, Sarah. I'm living a dream. I can't wait to see Oliver." When the time finally came, I walked down the hall with a racing heart. Oliver was waiting at the altar, his eyes shining with excitement. As I approached, I felt sure that I was about to take an important step in my life, a step that would seal our love forever. The ceremony was beautiful and exciting. Exchanging our vows in front of everyone we loved was an unforgettable moment. "I promise to love and support you at all times, Callie. You are my safe haven, and I can't wait to spend the rest of my life by your side," Oliver said, his voice choked with emotion. "I promise to love you and be by your side, Oliver. Since the first letter, you have changed my life for the better, and I am grateful for every moment we shared. I look forward to living every day by your side, building a life filled with love and happiness." We kissed, sealing our commitment in front of everyone. The love we shared was palpable, and as the applause echoed around us, we felt sure we had found something truly special. After the wedding, our life together began to take shape. We moved into a new house, where we began to build memories and plan our future. Each day was a new adventure, full of moments of affection and complicity. On a quiet evening while we were having dinner, Oliver brought up a subject we had discussed before. "Callie, what do you think about us starting a family?" I smile, feeling the warmth of happiness invade my heart. "I think it would be wonderful, Oliver. I can't wait to see you as a father." Our love continued to grow, and soon we were expecting our first child. The joy and anticipation were indescribable. Oliver was by my side at every stage, supporting me and taking care of me. When our son was born, the love we felt for each other only intensified. It was as if our bond had become even stronger, and we were ready to face any challenge that arose, united by the love that had united us from the beginning. Our home was filled with laughter, play, and moments of tenderness. Each day our family grew stronger, and I knew I had found true love, the one that lasts forever. Over the years, our family has grown, and we have faced many challenges together. There were moments of difficulty, but the love and trust we built helped us overcome each obstacle. One of these difficulties arose when Oliver lost his job. Financial pressure and fear of the unknown put our relationship to the test. "Callie, I'm sorry about that," Oliver said, his voice filled with concern. "I don't know what we're going to do." I hugged him, holding his hands firmly. "Let's find a solution together, Oliver. We're a team. We will overcome this as we overcome everything else." So we decided to open a small business together, a cozy coffee shop that quickly became a popular hangout in our community. Working side by side brought a new dynamic to our relationship, further strengthening our bond. The years continued to pass, and our love story only became stronger. Looking back, every letter, every challenge, and every moment of happiness shaped us to be who we were. One night, while we were sitting on the porch of our house, Oliver handed me a red-covered notebook. "What is it?" I asked, curious. "It's a gift to you, Callie. It's our letter book. From the first to the last I wrote to you, each page tells our story, our love." I opened the notebook, flipping through the pages filled with words that captured our journey together. "That's wonderful, Oliver. Thanks." He kissed me gently, his eyes shining with love. "Callie, our love is a story that continues to be written, and I want to spend every moment by your side, writing new chapters every day." We embraced, feeling the depth of the love we shared. And so, we continued our journey together, knowing that our love was strong enough to overcome anything. Each day was a new opportunity to write a new page in our love book, and I knew that with Oliver by my side, our story would be eternal. Thank you for following this exciting story. If you liked it, don't forget to leave a like and share with your friends and family. Subscribe to our channel and activate the Tinkerbell so as not to miss any of our incredible stories of love, hope, and overcoming. We want to know your opinion. Leave a comment below telling us what you thought of this story, or share a personal experience that inspired you. Remember, every story has the power to transform lives. Stay tuned for our next video.